Agency to the Redevelopment Agency, Public Finance Authority, the Public Utility Authority, Housing Authority, Perris Joint Powers Authority, and the Perris Community Economic Development Corporation of the City of Perris. This Tuesday, April 27th, 2021, at 6:33 p.m. Madam Clerk, can we call roll call, please?
Sure. Councilmember Rogers. Here. Councilmember Nava.
Present.
Councilmember Corona.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Rapp.
Here.
Mayor Vargas.
Here. Thank you. And item A is our closed session. Mr. Dunn, can you please cover
Mr. Mayor,
that?
do you want to do the invocation and the pledge?
Well, let's go ahead to do the negotiation real quick. I mean, the
All right,
closed session.
Thank you. The council met in closed session to discuss the one item listed on the agenda, and no reportable action was taken tonight.
Thank you. Okay, item 3 is our invocation. This will be led by Pastor Terry. Pastor Terry.
Let us pray.
Pass one, two. Hold on, Pastor.
Oh, okay.
IT, can we, is that, there we go, there we go. This will be led by Pastor Terry Wells from the First Baptist Church of Perris. And then if you can remain standing for item 4, which is our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Councilmember Rogers. Okay, Pastor, you're on.
Pray with me. Heavenly Father, we come to you right now, invoking your very presence for this meeting this evening, because your presence brings peace, love, and joy. I pray that you would be with the mayor, the councilmen and women, and all the elected officials, and all who are in attendance tonight. Give the leaders the ear to hear with the understanding of each presenter and in every presentation that shall go on this evening from the Perris community. And give them, the leaders, the wisdom to make the best decisions that will benefit the community as a whole. We ask all of these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please join me as we salute our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Item 6 is our presentation and announcements. We have no presentations this evening. Item 7 is our Youth Advisory Committee communications, which will be given by Naomi Acosta, the president of our Youth Advisory.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, and City staff, the Youth Advisory Committee continues to celebrate the high school graduating class of 2021 by collaborating with the Community Services Department by sponsoring a senior t-shirt design contest for the graduation parade. We are requesting graduating seniors to submit their designs for consideration. The deadline is fast approaching, so please send your submissions now. Each parade participant will receive this commemorative t-shirt. Information on how to participate is posted on the city's and the YEC social media outlets. We encourage the youth in our community to get involved, and the YEC is doing the part. The Economic Development Team invited the YEC and all other Perris youth to attend their education fair, which is geared towards youth either graduating or interested in joining a college, trade, or apprenticeship program. It is scheduled for this Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The link can be found in the cities and the YEC social media outlets. As a reminder, the YEC meetings are held every first and third Tuesday of the month at 5 p.m. via Zoom, and the link can be obtained by contacting the Community Services Department. Also, YEC applications are still available on the city website and are due by July 31st at 5 p.m. Lastly, the Youth Advisory Committee would like to continue to acknowledge Autism Awareness Month. We encourage the community to embrace the color blue and express your support for the cause by spreading kindness. The YEC hopes that everyone continues to stay safe and healthy throughout these times. This concludes our update. Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. Item 8 is approval of minutes. 8A is consideration to approve the minutes of the regular joint meeting held on April 13th, 2021 of the City Council, and all the rest of the entities is listed in our agenda. And if no one has any comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve. I have a motion by Councilman Corona, second by Councilwoman Nava. Please call roll call vote.
Councilmember Rogers? Yes. Councilmember Nava?
Yes.
Councilmember Corona?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rabb?
Yes.
Mayor Vargas?
Yes.
5-0, motion approved.
Thank you. Item 9 is our consent calendar. Consent calendars are items that are normally enacted in one motion. The mayor or city council may remove a consent calendar item for a separate action. We will have public comment, which will be limited to 3 minutes. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
No, sir.
IT?
No, sir.
Thank you. Council, anybody have any items they'd like to pull for the further discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd
Yes.
like to pull item A for a separate vote.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve everything but A. I have a motion by Councilwoman Nava, second by Mayor Pro Tem Rabb. Please call roll call vote.
Councilmember Rogers?
Yes.
Councilmember Nava?
Yes.
Councilmember Corona?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rabb?
Yes.
Mayor Vargas?
Yes.
5-0, motion approved.
Thank you. Okay, 9A, Councilwoman Rogers, did you have any discussion or just want a separate vote?
I just want the separate vote.
Very
And my
good.
computer's not working, so I can't.
Okay, perfect. So we have, are you motioning that one as
No,
well?
I want to vote no.
Okay, so we're going to have Mayor Pro Tem Rabb a motion for 9A, and I have a second by Councilman Corona. Please call roll call vote.
Member Rogers?
No.
Councilmember Nava?
Yes.
Councilmember Corona?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rabb?
Yes.
Mayor Vargas?
Yes.
Nava, Corona, Rabb, Vargas, yes. Rogers, no.
Thank you. Item 10 is our public hearings. 10A is consideration to adopt the first reading of proposed ordinance number next in order, placing CR&R residential refuse collection charges on property tax rolls instead of including the charges in the water bills. We will have public comment on this item, which will be limited to 3 minutes. And this is going to be introduced by our Director of Finance, Mr. Ernie Reyna.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item before you, it was brought back from the April 13th meeting, so we do have a presentation here for you. I'll be making this presentation with Alex Brejkovic of CR&R, so I have a couple slides I'm going to go through, and then I'm going to turn it over to him, and then I'll conclude the presentation once we're done. So let's go ahead and kick off with this presentation. So the reason why this is being brought forward to the council today is back in the earlier part of the year, in January, February, more specifically on February 10th, the agencies of Eastern Municipal Water District, CR&R, and the City of Perris met to discuss future billing of refuse for the city. A certain portion of the refuse Eastern Municipal actually does on behalf of CR&R, and they expressed that they can no longer do this billing. They're going through a software upgrade, and the software is not going to allow for them to have the third party kind of integrated within their system. So they let us know that they cannot continue this going forward anymore, and they kind of set a deadline of July 1st to be that date. And so when we met, there was 3 options that we looked at going forward of how this can continue going forward. So the first option was that CR&R actually takes on the billing. So what they would do is, and they'll go into detail when they go through these slides, but this would be a quarterly billing, and they would bill in advance rather than in arrears. So this would be something they could do, but on a quarterly basis. And so with delinquencies, if there are any, those are going to be placed on the county tax roll, and they have to be approved by the council on an annual basis. And with that, there'll be fees and surcharges that go with that. And the city will not get its administrative share until much later than it normally does, and Alex will go into that part of it. The second option will be a parcel charge, which we'll talk about more here. So that'll be a one-time parcel charge that we'll place on future billings to the county tax roll. And so the council will have to approve that, and there's no cost to the city and the customers. And again, we'll get into detail how that works. And the third option is that the city staff would take over the billing on behalf of CR&R. And with that, though, the city would have to develop some sort of software to make that happen, in addition to hiring more staff to being able to take on that task and duty. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Mr. Alex Brekovich of CR&R, and he's going to run through some of the slides that he put together as well. So I'm going to call upon Alex and let him introduce these slides, and he'll go into detail on these. So, Alex.
May I take this off? Okay,
Yes, you may take it off.
thank you. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Council, and staff. My name is Alex Brekovich. I'm with CR&R, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight to go through and walk through what is being proposed tonight, as well as some of the options. So on the first slide you'll see up there, we just put together a quick little agenda. We're going to go over how we got here, which Ernie kind of already touched on. The various residential billing options that are available, the recommended billing option, as well as necessary next steps. The current billing status. Currently, Eastern Municipal Water District does about 80% of the billing in the city of Perris. We were notified, as Ernie said, back in January, February, that effective July 1st, they would no longer be doing the billing. EMWD bills Perris residents 2 months in arrears for water and trash. And billing must be done in arrears, obviously, because water usage varies from month to month, so it has to be done in arrears. The City of Perris Water Department does about 20% of the billing. Residents are billed 1 month in arrears. And billing must be done in arrears, again, because of the water usage varying each month. On additional services, any additional carts or other temporary services are billed by CR&R. Then we'll get into the various billing options. I just wanted to point out one important note. This whole thing is not about the amount that is billed. Rather, it's about how that amount is billed, right? So it's very important to note that this process does not generate any sort of rate increase to the customer. Option 1, parcel billing charges. Residential customers would be billed on their property tax bill. They'd be billed every December and April or as part of their monthly mortgage payments. Automatically charged, no checks to write, and no bills to pay. No extra charge for the customer for this service, and annual noticing would be handled by CR&R. Obviously, there'd be low administration costs, and also there's something to note here as well. The state of California is going through some major changes in the solid waste industry, and this would help the city in terms of higher participation rates with state compliance on regulations like SB 1383, which is going into effect January of next year. Important to note, the city does not do the billing for CR&R under this proposal. We do all the billing, all the administration. The city is simply the vehicle used to place the billing on the county tax roll. Because we're a private agency, we cannot do that. It has to be done from one public agency to another. Option 2, CR&R does the billing, individual billing. We bill 3 months in advance. The transition would be a bit shaky because of, as Ernie mentioned, the different types of billing that currently occur. EMWD billing 2 months in arrears, city billing 1 month in arrears. We would bill 3 months in advance. That transition is a bit shaky. Landlords, property owners would need to make sure that either they are paying the bill or that their tenants are paying the bill to avoid delinquent charges. And as you know, city has mandatory collection service for obvious health and safety reasons. Franchise fees paid to the city would be on cash receipts rather than gross billings, because if we go to this type of billing scenario, we would incur some delinquencies. So we would be paying you on cash receipts rather than on gross billings, so you would see some reduced revenue to the city. City would also need to develop a residential delinquency program. That is usually done through an annual public hearing, right, where we would notify those that are delinquent. They would come to the public hearing if they would like, and they would be put on the county tax roll every year, along with processing fees. And I'll be blunt with you, 90% of those are usually landlords who didn't know their tenants didn't pay, and so now they've got a $300 or $400 bill that they're looking at. So that is part of the option 2. Option 3, as Ernie mentioned, would be having the city do it. They need to set up all the customers prior to July 1st, need to hire additional staff. The billing system, I'm not sure that we'd have to discuss whether the billing system could handle that, and obviously need to upgrade and reprogram the billing system. So that would be the third option. CR&R recommends the parcel charge billing option because it's a streamlined process. It's a seamless transition, no additional cost to the customer, minimizes delinquencies, maximizes the city's franchise fees, and also maximizes participation in regulatory compliance programs such as SB 1383. The next steps in this process: there has been a lot of work done behind the scenes to take the information from EMWD as well as the city and put that information in a way that is workable for the future. First reading tonight, and the second reading would be, I believe, in 30 days. Amend the franchise agreement as necessary. We would complete setup and cleanup of account transitions, send out notices to customers. That would be handled by CR&R, and we would hold a hearing for 2021 implementation. Annual notification is required, and we will be doing that on an annual basis. That concludes my presentation, and Ernie?
Yeah, thank you, Alex. I have one more slide, and this slide is just the recommended action for tonight. And like Alex mentioned, CR&R is proposing that the City Council adopt this ordinance, which is the next in order, which is amending Section 7.16.080 of the Perris Municipal Code to authorize the Riverside County tax collector to place residential refuse collection charges on the property tax roll. So if this option is selected, CR&R will prepare all the necessary paperwork that goes along with the parcel charges to be proposed. And then from there, the City Council would hold a public hearing to consider all objections or protests. Following that hearing, the City Council may adopt the report that will be forwarded to the county auditor's tax collector, which, in speaking with them, their information is needed by August 20th. So that's the deadline to have that to them. So if this option is not the option that's selected tonight, then staff is fully prepared to come back another night with the necessary documents to make sure that particular alternative is the right one that we needed to have going forward. So that concludes the presentation, Mr. Mayor and City Council, and if there's any questions, myself or Alex will be more than happy to answer for you.
Thank you, Mr. Reno. Council, before I open up public hearing, do you have any questions for clarification? Yes, sir. Councilman Corona?
Hi, I'm not sure if possibly Mr. Dunn or anybody else. If we do go with this option, which puts it on the Riverside County tax collector, are there other cities that are doing it that way?
There are other cities that are doing that way. Maybe Alex or Eric, you might want to, do you have any knowledge of that? Okay.
Yes, there are 2 cities currently doing it that way. That's Temecula and Canyon Lake here in Riverside County
Okay.
that we're aware of. I think there are others in the Coachella Valley, but I can't name those off the top of my head.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
So to clarify, if we do choose this, we definitely wouldn't be the first.
Oh, no.
Okay, and then have you heard any concerns about going it that way, or?
Not at all. On the contrary, we have other cities that are expressing an interest in going tax roll as well. We'll see if they choose to go there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see anybody else in the queue. I'm going to go ahead and open up public comment. Madam Clerk, do you have any requests to speak?
No, sir.
IT, is there anybody requesting to speak on this item?
No, sir.
And just to confirm, Councilwoman Rogers, is your machine working? You're good? Okay. All right, then I'm going to close the public hearing. And at this time, I'll call for a motion on the first reading of the ordinance. I have a motion by Councilman Corona and a second by Councilwoman Nava. Please call a vote.
Councilmember Rogers? Councilmember Nava?
Yes.
Councilmember Corona?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rabb?
Yes.
Mayor Vargas?
Yes.
5-0, motion approved.
Thank you. Okay, 10B is a consideration to adopt resolution number next in order, approving the Community Development Grant Action Plan fiscal year 2021-2022. And this will be introduced by our interim city manager, Ms. Clara Miramontes.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. I'd like to introduce Ms. Sarah Cortez de Pavon, Perris Grants Manager.
Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, and city staff. The item before you today is in regards to the final approval of the 2021-2022 Annual Action Plan. On March 30th of this year, the City Council held a public hearing on the proposed action plan pursuant to HUD regulations. On March 24, 2021, the city published a 30-day public hearing and comment period for its final recommendations based on the allocations released by HUD. The comment period has been fulfilled by the annual action plan, and it's ready for adoption by the City Council. Before you are all the final allocations, and just to let you know, all 11 applicants have been funded. The requested action today is that City Council open the public hearing, take all public comments for this item, and adopt the 2021-2022 Annual Action Plan with the proposed final CDBG allocations, and direct staff to take all necessary action to implement the plan in accordance with HUD regulations. This concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Sarah. Council, anybody have any questions before I open up the public hearing?
I have a question.
Councilwoman Nava?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the presentation, Sarah. I just had a question on page 114. There's a table that lists the separate items. And for one of the descriptions, it doesn't match. For example, it says Life Lifters International, that they provide art classes for youth. But then right below that, it says that it's going to help 25 seniors. So just wondering what the conflicting.
So it is a typo. Seniors is what they are currently doing. So since they're a repeat applicant, that was just a typo, but I will go ahead and change that. The art class is open to everyone.
Okay.
All ages.
Thank you. Just wanted to point that out. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we're going to open up public hearing. Madam Clerk, do you have any requests to speak?
No, sir.
IT?
No, sir.
Very good. We'll close the public hearing, and I'll call for a motion on the resolution. I have a motion by Councilwoman Rogers, second by Councilman Corona. Please call a roll call vote.
Councilmember Rogers?
Yes.
Councilmember Nava?
Yes.
Councilmember Corona?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rabb?
Yes.
Mayor Vargas?
Yes.
5-0, motion approved.
Thank you. Item 11 is our business items. We have none. Item 12 is our public comment. Madam Clerk, do you have any requests to speak?
No, sir.
IT?
No, sir.
Boy, everybody wants to go to that Dodger game. All right, item 13 is council communication. We'll start with Councilman Corona.
It's going to be brief, but you know what? I'm just really excited about the upcoming hike this Saturday. So it's going to be at Cabian Park at 8 o'clock. So try to be there. It's going to be the first hike that we've had in more than a year. So, just looking out for that. And with that too, our city is opening up. I mean, more restaurants and businesses are open. Everything's up and running. But just please continue to take precautions so that we could really, really get there. I'm also excited to hear that the high schools are going to be doing a traditional graduation. So as opposed to last year, where the high school seniors were able to be there for half the year, but their graduation was a drive-through graduation. For this year, our high school seniors didn't get to go to school, but they're going to be able to attend graduation in person. So and just continue to get testing, because if healthy people get tested and it comes out negative, it drives our numbers down. Okay, so and also make sure you guys get vaccinated. That's all the comments for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Magana?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to report that I took part in the senior movie night that took place last week. They served Chick-fil-A, popcorn, Perris swag. Myself, Mayor, and Councilmember Corona were all there. And I just want to go ahead and give a special, thank you to all our staff who have proved to be resilient, flexible, and innovative during these times. And it's exciting to see that we're now going back to transitioning to hosting in-person events. So I'd really like to encourage our residents to come out and participate. And if you see any other movie nights in your radar, please save the dates. They're really great, and it's a great time for the entire family. And I too am looking forward to participating in the hike, and as well, since we are gearing back to participating in in-person events, I'd like to also extend that invitation. We tend to have really great raffles, so you never know, you might go home with a bike that day. So I'd just like to encourage you all to come out and take part. All safety protocols will be in place, so we look forward to seeing you there. And that's all my comments for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rogers?
I have no comments this evening.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes. I'd like to thank everyone for participating in tonight's meeting. On that note, if we can get a listing on our next bi-monthly communication showing gas stations and car washes that are potentially can be built in the city of Perris. I just want to get that information maybe moving forward. I know the city of Rancho Cucamonga instituted a moratorium on gas stations because they had so many springing up, but not asking for that now. I just kind of want to see where we're at in terms of future development, car washes and gas stations, just to kind of see where we're at in terms of that development. I just want to also thank everyone who reached out to me on the passing of my father. And we had the service last week, and want to thank everyone for attending, Councilwoman Rogers and everyone that watched on Facebook Live, Mayor Vargas and everyone else, all my colleagues for all their words of encouragement, city staff for attending and just giving words of encouragement. I just want to thank everyone for that. That concludes my comments for today.
Very good. All right. I'm going to pass as well in the interest of time, and we are going to move to item 14, which is our city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. The Bob Glass Gymnasium testing site remains open Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Walk-ins and appointments are still welcome. Vaccination site remains open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and it does require an appointment. You can find the registration information at the cityofparis.org website. And I'm also pleased to announce that the Community Services Department was awarded a grant in the amount of $455,000 by the California Natural Resources Agency. The grants for the expansion of the Perris Green City Farm and for enhancements to the Foss Field Park. The City of Perris was one of 25 agencies out of a total of 77 applicants to have received this award. So congratulations to the Community Services Department. Great job. Moving on to announcements. The Economic Development Department is hosting a job fair this Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is a virtual job fair, and the one taking place this Friday is for high school juniors and seniors. You can find the registration at our City of Perris website. There will be a second event that will be open to the general public, another virtual job fair. That one will take place on Saturday, May 8th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And next, I'd like to announce that the Perris Depot will be hosting a 110-year celebration of the city's incorporation, and that will take place on May 8th at 10 a.m., And please attend. There will be a celebration by the Perris Depot and the Historical Society. And finally, I'd like to, last announcement, present to you a cleanup day video that our IT department has put together. Another wonderful video. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Daniel Soares, Senior Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Perris. On behalf of the City of Perris Code Enforcement Division, we would like to invite you to our annual spring cleanup. The spring cleanup will be held Saturday, May 15th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Southern California Railway Museum. Residents are invited to bring trash and other large items to have them properly disposed of. Remember, we will accept up to 9 rimless tires. Also on May 15th, the Shred-a-thon truck will be on site at the City Hall parking lot in front of the Development Services Building. Please use this opportunity to dispose of any sensitive documents you may have. No CDs or DVDs, please. Thank you for doing your part to help keep the City of Perris beautiful. See you there.
And I'd like to thank the Code Enforcement Department for putting together this annual event. We didn't have it last year, but it's back on this year.
Very good. I did leave out one thing. The farmer's market will be on again this Saturday, May 1st. Not this Saturday, is it? Yeah, this Saturday. My understanding is they finally are getting fruit and veggies, hopefully. There was an issue with the markets and the growers or whatever, and they were preventing them from being there. So we should be having some veggies and fruit vendors there this time, so looking forward to that. Okay. With that, we're going to move on to item 15, which is our adjournment. Thank everyone for coming out tonight or streamlining or watching us on Facebook and what have you, YouTube. Remember to please stay safe, keep healthy, wear your mask. We're doing really good with the numbers, folks, so I really do appreciate that, and Perris together is what we're doing. And still, I highly recommend you still continue to get your tests too as well. Have a good night, folks.